Hey guys, this is a video for Ghostbusters. Just a quick disclaimer that I do not own any of the rights to this music. This music was created by Ray Parker Jr. and arranged by Michael Story. I bought this music from J.W. Pepper. It's an orchestra music website. I've actually linked this music on that site in the info of this video. Okay, so please go and purchase it if you're not one of my orchestra students and you're watching this video for extra help. That being said, this is a video for Violin 1. Okay, so in the beginning of Ghostbusters, you have these eighth notes going from a B to a C natural. Just make sure you are slurring them because we don't want to hear any changes of the bow. Doesn't sound as good as. So it's 4 notes and a down, 4 notes and an up, okay? Just make sure you're keeping track of how many times you play that, okay? Also make sure that you're playing with a little bit more bow speed and focusing on just moving that finger. So you shouldn't have tension in your left hand. You shouldn't have tension in your right hand. If you're pressing too hard on your bow, you're gonna get, and that doesn't sound good, right? So relax, let your bow go, and just let you move up and down. Nice and relaxed, okay? All right, just be careful because when you go from measure 4 into measure 5, you end up going from a C natural right to a C sharp. And I need to hear that change in a half step because that really sets the tone for the melody that's going to happen, okay? So from measure 4, you have then, and they happen one after the other, right? So please make sure you're hearing a difference because if you don't, check your finger. If it didn't go up a half step, then you're playing the wrong note. All right, excellent. Then you have like 7.5 beats of rest to get yourself into second position to play da 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 dum. Da, 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 dum. Everybody knows that part, right, of this song if you know Ghostbusters. Okay, so when you're looking at measure 7, if you can see my cursor, make sure that you're going into second position. Now, second position means that we generally replace our second finger with first finger. So we're shifting up, okay? Second position. Now, because we're starting on an A, we're starting with second finger, but we're still in second position. So we're gonna go from 2, stretch to a high 4, C sharp, 2, then a 3, then a 1. Notice that between 2 and 1, there's a whole step because I need to hear that interval, okay? So when I'm going from this passage, in second position, this is my A with second finger. I'm going to stretch, bring my elbow around the violin for 4, then back to 2, then 3, then 1. It's a G natural, not a G sharp, so that's why I'm asking you to make sure you have a whole step between 2 and 1, okay? So you might want to practice that slowly at first. And make sure you're hearing that. Watch my elbow, right? I'm coming around the violin, but you've got to practice that. Okay, those intervals aren't as easy to get as you think. A lot of times our first finger creeps up and becomes sharp. So then I might practice in rhythms. Right? Da 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 dum. Or something like that. Or whatever it is until eventually I get 3, 4, rest. Okay, and notice that I'm not pricking my fingers up. I'm keeping them down as close as possible. After that measure, I go back to first position. Rest. Yeah, so one more time. That's third finger to second finger, right? Same distance as 2 to 1 because it's the same notes. Okay, so if I'm going from measure 4 into those into measures 5, 6, 7, and 8, it would sound like this. And this is in real time, so you are counting with me and moving with me if you're playing. Ready, and 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Rest and rest. Right? So that's how quickly you have to go from note to note. Notice that when I was counting, I was moving. I didn't wait until beat 1 to go into second position. I shifted as soon as I got done playing that C sharp, okay? So find second position as quickly as you can. That might even be something that you practice, going from C sharp, right? And making sure you get it in tune. And if you don't get it in tune, you got to keep practicing it, maybe slowly. You can even practice replacing 3 with 2. Right? And if my tendency is to go sharp, I know that each time I have to try to go a little bit lower, okay? So you'd practice it, you'd get there, good. Great. Then at measure 9, you have the melody. There's something strange in the neighborhood. It's a bit more like square, right? than we're probably used to, but that's okay. Not all the time are rhythms written the way that they sound, okay? So when we have this, we have right before measure 9, we're doing the pickup. 3, 4. It's a C natural, then 3, 4. Rest. Ghostbusters. And yes, if you are going to make a recording for me at some point down the line, I need you to shout Ghostbusters and actually shout it, right? Because when we're performing this, we want people to be interested and actually make it believable, okay? So don't wimpy like Ghostbusters, right? Because nobody's going to be excited about that, okay? Great. So also just make sure your 16th notes at that measure 11, 1 E and a 2, da-da-da-da-dum, are quick, okay? Then right after you shout Ghostbusters, you play it again, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Rest. Ghostbusters. 3, 4. Then at measure 17, you've got this syncopated passage starting on a low 2. You have 1, 2, and 4. Okay, so 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0. And you might want to practice this a couple different ways. Or however, but practice in rhythms. If you know me, then you know practice in rhythms, okay? And then that repeats a lot until you get to measure, I believe that's, I can't see it so small, 21, in which you go to an E. Now, yes, you could play open E and you could do a string crossing, but I personally think that that's a little bit too much. If you can do fourth finger, just stretch between low 2 and 4. It'll make this E, C, B, C right here, if you can see my cursor, a lot easier because you're staying on the A string. 4, 2, 1, 2. And again, just like you practice the other one, you're going to want to practice in rhythms. However you want to practice it, so that you get it right, so that you can just play straight through. Then you go to an A, rest. A, G, G, F. Sorry, give me 1 second. That's the 3-minute bell I always set for lessons, okay? And the rest of this little passage here up until 29 shouldn't be too difficult, okay? When you get to 29, you have A, G, C, B, right? So you do have to do a string crossing there. If you're looking at 30, I would do 4, 3 on D string, cross over and do 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3. If you can, unless you're going to do open 3 there. But just make sure you have right seamlessly. We don't want to hear string crossings, and they need to be slurred. That's one way to make it seamless, right? If you do it all separated, right? Slur it. And you know the drill. Practice in rhythms so that you can get that nice, smooth string crossing. Notice that I'm exaggerating my elbow movement too, so I can help my bow get there, okay? Then you play that a couple of times until you get to measure 35, which you have an A, G, 2, 3, D, E. I'd play with fourth finger, low 2, high 2 again. So there you go, another between 36 and 37, you have a low 2 going to a high 2. So again, you have to make sure you hear that difference. You have 7 more beats rest until you get into second position. Rest first. Okay, so you have that again, so make sure you practiced it right the first time, so it definitely sounds great the next time around. You see DS al coda, DS dal segno means you're going to go to the sign at measure 9, okay? You don't have to replay that pickup because you play it here. So you have C, A, C, great. You play through all this until you see 2 coda, in which we jump down here. And you have that again, A, G, F, etc. Until the end, the last 2 measures, you have A, rest, B, D, 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 E. And you can play an open E there if you want to, because it would be sad if we left off on a fourth finger that was flat or sharp. So just play open E, that last note, okay? All right. If you have questions, just ask and I'll help you out. Otherwise, best of luck and practice smart and focused.